Want to speak real Hebrew from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HebrewPod101.com. In this video, you will listen to each dialogue twice. One version without the conversation's text, and one version with subtitles to read along with. Test your listening comprehension skills with this video. Ready?
Want to finally learn Hebrew the fast, fun, and easy way? In this video, I'll show you the top 10 ways to get started. So let's begin. Number 1. Take your very first lesson. Access any audio or video lesson on HebrewPod101.com and just press the play button to get started. Don't have an account? Don't worry. Just go to the sign up page to create an account. It takes less than 30 seconds and it's free. We have thousands of audio and video lessons covering a variety of topics like grammar, pronunciation, listening, and reading. Just click on the play button on any lesson and start learning. Number 2. Read along with the lesson. You can read along with the lesson notes or lesson transcript. These come with every lesson. The lesson notes provide you with the dialogue for the scene taught in the lesson, along with translations, a more in-depth explanation of the grammar and culture, and even vocab and sample sentences. The lesson transcript is the full word-for-word transcript of everything you hear in the lesson. And the dialogue study tool provides you with the audio for the lesson dialogue, along with the translations. Number 3. Shadowing. Shadowing is a tested learning technique where you repeat what you hear. This is a great way to start speaking in minutes and practice speaking in general. If you're listening along with the lesson audio or dialogue, be sure to shadow along the way. Number 4. Use the dialogue study tool to master the conversation. Here, you get the line-by-line breakdown of the conversation demonstrated in the lesson. Listen and repeat until you've mastered each line. Do this until you've mastered the entire conversation. Number 5. Use the voice recorder to perfect your pronunciation and speaking. In the dialogue study tool, you'll find a microphone icon next to each line. Click on it to record your voice. Then, compare it with the native speakers. Listen and adjust your pronunciation until you match that of the native speaker. Number 6. Review vocab with the lesson vocabulary list. Vocabulary words are the building blocks of language. You can save vocab words taught in each lesson by clicking on Add to Word Bank. Want to drill the words with smart flashcards instead? Just click on Add to Flashcard Deck to do so. Number 7. Listen to the review track. If you've studied an audio lesson before, just listen to the review track so that you don't have to listen through the entire lesson again. This is a great way to reinforce the material that you've learned, and it's great to have on the go. Just access any audio lesson and click on the download icon. Then click Review to download the review track. Number 8. Review with quizzes after the lesson. Once you're confident enough with the material taught in the lesson, be sure to take the quiz to test your newfound knowledge. Take the review questions and answer true or false for each one. Or take the writing questions and input your answer. Remember to check the answers by clicking on the Check Answers button. Number 9. Participate and leave a comment. The best way to master what you've learned is to use it. Join the community of learners by leaving a comment below at the end of every lesson. Our dedicated teachers will check your responses to correct you on any mistakes or provide you with helpful study tips and advice. And finally, number 10, move on to the next lesson. Done with a lesson? Mark the lesson as complete. You can see your overall learning progress on your dashboard. If you particularly enjoyed the lesson, mark the lesson as favorite so that you can come back to it later at any time. Click on the forward arrow to move on to the next lesson and continue learning. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn Hebrew, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. Remember, you can sign up to HebrewPod101.com by clicking on the link in the description. Sign up takes less than 30 seconds, and it's free. I'll see you next time. Bye!
מורה ותלמידה מדברים. מתי תלך התלמידה למשרדו של המורה? לא ממש הבנתי את הכל בשיעור היום.
בסדר. יש לך שאלות?
כן, יש לי די הרבה. יש לך זמן עכשיו?
אני קצת עסוק עכשיו. בואי בבקשה למשרד שלי אחר הצהריים. אהיה שם מ-1 עד 4.
בסדר. אהיה שם בשעה 2. מתי תלך התלמידה למשרדו של המורה? מורה ותלמידה מדברים. מתי תלך התלמידה למשרדו של המורה? לא ממש הבנתי את הכל בשיעור היום.
בסדר. יש לך שאלות?
כן, יש לי די הרבה. יש לך זמן עכשיו?
אני קצת עסוק עכשיו. בואי בבקשה למשרד שלי אחר הצהריים. אהיה שם מ-1 עד 4.
בסדר. אהיה שם בשעה 2.
You are on a platform at a train station where you're waiting for your train. Suddenly, a message appears on the display. What does the message on the display mean? What does the message on the display mean? The display reads, "The next train will not stop."
הרכבת הבאה לא תעצור.
שלום, אני יאנה. נעים מאוד. Hi, I'm Yana. It's a pleasure to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn basic Hebrew expressions. It's super easy, and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Hebrew. In Hebrew, there is no formal and informal language. You can use this introduction in both cases, and keep it simple. However, in Hebrew, there is a difference between male and female language. Let's first see how Israeli people introduce themselves in a simple way. Shalom, ani Yana. Na'im meod. Hi, I'm Yana. It's a pleasure. Shalom, ani Yana. Na'im meod. Start by saying Shalom, ani, then saying your name. Shalom, ani Yana. Finally say Na'im meod. Shalom, ani Yana. Na'im meod. And now let's see the same sentence if you wish to be more specific in addressing the person you are introduced to. If you're introducing yourself to a woman, you should say, Shalom, ani Yana, na'im meod lehakir otach. Hi, I'm Yana. It's a pleasure to meet you. Shalom, ani Yana, na'im meod lehakir otach. If you are talking to a man, you should say, Shalom, ani Yana, na'im meod lehakir otcha. Hi, I'm Yana. It's a pleasure to meet you. Shalom, ani Yana. Na'im meod lehakir otcha. So, what has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at this together. The last part of the introduction has been changed based on the gender of the person you are talking to. Shalom, ani Yana. Na'im meod lehakir otach for a woman versus Shalom, ani Yana. Na'im meod lehakir otcha for a man. Ani, in this case, has not been changed, and in both cases stands for I am, regardless of your gender. The last sounds of the last word changes, however. Otach, if you are talking to a woman, and otcha, if you are speaking to a man. One more time. The simple way to introduce yourself in Hebrew is Shalom, ani Yana, na'im meod. In case you want to personalize the greeting, you say Shalom, ani Yana, na'im meod lehakir otach. Shalom, ani Yana, na'im meod lehakir otcha. Now it's time for Yana's insights. When you introduce yourself, it's a good habit to shake hands in Israel. If you don't want to worry about using the right word for men and women, just say na'im me'od, as I said at the beginning of this lesson. There is no cultural importance if you add the last part to the introduction. It just makes the sentence more complete. Do you know how to say thank you in Hebrew? You will learn how to say this and many other words in the next lesson. Ad hapam haba'ah, till next time.
You are at a train station where you're attempting to buy an express ticket from a ticket machine. Which option should you choose for a round-trip ticket? Which option should you choose for a round-trip ticket? The option on the bottom left is for a round-trip ticket.
כרטיס הלוך וחזור.
Want to speak real Hebrew from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HebrewPod101.com.
In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in Israel. אתם מוכנים? Are you ready? אז בואו נתחיל. So let's start. The most used greeting is Shalom. Shalom. We also saw it in the first lesson. Shalom simply means hi or hello. It can also mean goodbye. We use it when we meet, but also can use it when we part. Shalom means something like peace, so it makes the greeting very special. It is common to say shalom in both informal and formal situations, and at any time of the day. In the morning, you can also greet people with Boker Tov. Boker Tov, which means good morning. Boker is morning, and Tov is good. During the evening, we also say Erev Tov. Erev Tov. Erev is Hebrew for evening, so Erev Tov means good evening. Boker Tov and Erev Tov are used when we meet someone, but when we leave, we don't say them again. Another way to say goodbye in Hebrew is lehitraot. Le-hit-ra-ot. It is actually more common to use lehitraot than shalom when leaving. But most people in Israel just say bye. Bye! Now you can greet people in many different ways in Hebrew. Let's review them all again. When meeting people in formal and informal situations, Shalom. In the morning until the afternoon we say Boker Tov, and in the evening Erev Tov. When living in any situation, Lehitraot, or simply bye. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Yana's insights. In formal situations, Israeli people commonly greet each other by shaking hands. On the other hand, if we meet someone we are very friendly with, we kiss each other on one cheek. Don't be afraid to do it with your Israeli friends. It's normal. During the next lesson, we'll learn the meaning of the phrase "אתה מדבר אנגלית" or "את מדברת אנגלית." Do you already know it? We'll be waiting to talk about it with you in our next עברית ב3 דקות lesson. להתראות. Bye!
You are at a train station where you're reading the train schedule for an express ticket that you've just bought. On which days are there no express trains running? On which days are there no express trains running? There are no trains running on Shabbat and on holidays.
אין רכבות מהירות בשבת ובחגים.
In this lesson, we are going to learn numbers in Hebrew. Yes, numbers. מספרים, from 1 to 10. And you are going to learn them in only 3 minutes. ב3 דקות. You already know the first number from last lesson and can make a full sentence. Do you remember? קפה אחד, בבקשה. Ready? Let's start. אחד. אחד. שתיים. שתיים. שלוש. שלוש. ארבע. ארבע. חמש. חמש. שש. שש. שבע. שבע. שמונה. שמונה. תשע. תשע. And 10. 10. Okay, now repeat after me. I'll say the numbers and give you time to repeat each one. Ready? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Great job! What is before אחד? Do you know? It's אפס. אפס. You don't have any more excuses. You can give your friends your cell phone number in Hebrew. Let's try together. We'll use the phrase המספר שלי הוא, which means my number is. המספר שלי הוא. המספר שלי הוא 337 122 49 68. Can you read it by yourself? 3 3 7 1 2 2 4 9 6 8. Perfect. Now it's time for Yana's insights. When you travel in Israel, it's a good idea to start paying attention to the bus numbers, street numbers, dates, hours, and the local money, the shekel. It's the best practice to remember. You can start now if you are at your hometown to practice Hebrew numbers in your daily life. Do you know the Hebrew word for 100? In the next lesson, we are going to learn the numbers from 11 to 100 in Hebrew. Your task now is to practice the numbers we studied in this lesson, from 1 till 10. להתראות ועד הפעם הבאה. Bye!
You are at a train station where you've just bought an express ticket. Which train car, row, and seat number are you in? Which train car, row, and seat number are you in? The ticket says that you're in train car number 1 in the 8th row in seat C.
בכרטיס כתוב שאתה יושב בקרון מספר 1 בשורה השמינית במושב C.
You are at a train station where you're looking for the best exit to catch a taxi. Which exit should you take to get to the taxi rank? Which exit should you take to get to the taxi rank? You should take the east exit in order to get to the taxi rank.
יציאה מזרחית.
In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. אתם מוכנים? Are you ready? אז בואו נתחיל. So let's start. There are several ways to thank someone. Let's start with the easiest. It's just one word. תודה. תודה. תודה means thank you. When saying thank you very much, you just need to add רבה. תודה רבה. תודה רבה. רבה means a lot. So תודה רבה is like saying thank you very much. During the last lesson, we mentioned two ways of addressing someone, depending on his or her gender. תודה or תודה רבה can be used with anyone. But in case you want to personalize the greeting, there is another phrase you should use. If you want to thank a woman, you say תודה רבה לך. תודה רבה לך. Now, if you want to thank a man, you say תודה רבה לך. תודה רבה לך. Let's break this phrase down. לך means something like to you when you're talking to a woman. תודה רבה לך is thank you very much. לך is to you when you're talking to a man. תודה רבה לך is thank you very much. How do you answer? It's easy. There are two ways to answer. The first one is simple. You're welcome. בבקשה. בבקשה. It's the simplest way to answer. But it is more polite to say אין בעד מה. אין בעד מה. Its literal meaning is it's nothing, and it is a common and polite way to respond to someone thanking you. So when someone is saying תודה or תודה רבה to you, we can simply reply with בבקשה or אין בעד מה. Now it's time for Yana's insights. If you're not sure about whether to use תודה רבה לך or תודה רבה לך, keeping it simple is always your safest bet. תודה can be used with just about anyone, anywhere, and anytime. Do you know what להתראות means? In our next lesson, you'll learn this and other greetings in Hebrew. תודה רבה, ועד הפעם הבאה.